Everything I ever went through, I was like, how can I be the person that doesn't give a fuck if this happens to me? I don't want this to affect me. How can I go, like, it was a goal of mine last year and I accomplished it. And even now to this day, I guarantee she doesn't even know what I'm at for the week. Nina, I don't want her to know if I'm having a good day or bad day or a good week or bad week at the sales table when I walk upstairs. If I've done that, I feel like I've gotten so much better at handling my emotions than the man I used to be, who was unhinged, uncuffed, and like, I'd be fucking pissed off. If I heard something bad happen in the family or I was pissed off about this with one of my parents, it shut me down for a week and I'd be a dick to people. Now I'm like, she can't even tell if I blinked for the whole week or not. Or
Yeah.
if I'm writing 20,000 this week. And that to me is like, that's what I care about more about my dollars growing, because all that stuff adds to the dollars growing. It's like those things that I feel like add to the big consummation of what you actually want. But so many people are fixated on the external thing they're just looking for.
Yeah. Now, obviously, like you have like your routine is obviously set in stone. Like I can see how like you're very consistent with what you do. Now, when you do have those like blank days or those hard emotional times of when like it can take you low, but you stay consistent with it. Like when that initially happens, how do you deal with that to then be able to take it back to the system that you built?
So there was a video I've seen before where it was an interview from like that Andrew Tate was in and then one that Elon Musk was in, and they were both talking about the job at hand and emotions. And they said that as men, if you let yourself be driven by your emotions, you'll never accomplish anything, because your emotions will always tell you the thing opposite to do of what it is you actually need to do to get the job done.
Mm.
So in those times, I have to distinguish like, okay, what are my emotions going to tell me? Because I've been there. Oh shit, this system's broke. The leads suck. It's dried up. Yep, I did it. Here it is. I dried up the entire well of what I could get from this, and now I'm going to hit rock bottom. Let me go start calculating how much is in the bank and how long we could live without me making a dollar. Now being like, dude, that's juvenile. That's old Dominic. Put that away. Put that away. Focus on I've fallen in love so much with the process to where, Jared, it doesn't even impact me anymore. Now I don't want to say that so strongly and arrogantly as if like I'm unimpacted by it. It'll still catch me sometimes if I'm like 0 for 12, like the first 3 days a week. I'm like, dude, I'll call Ron, like, bro, am I speaking a different language? Am I okay? And I'll check myself. But the thing, again, going back to one of the success habits of just being resilient with understanding the process, right? Like, you see it here. It's a very systematic thing, irregardless of the week or the day you had yesterday, before, the week before, or whatever you're having now. There's no results tomorrow unless you show up and do the same work you did the day before. Not a light, slightly further off the gas, maybe a little bit more on it. But if you just kept it, I just focused on applying the same pressure over time. How does water boil? You put the flame on and you walk away from the stove. It's not like the heat keeps getting turned up on its own. It's applied pressure over time, and then eventually there's a boiling point, right? So in that, I just realized that, like, okay, if I go back to the stove in the third minute, I might not see any bubbles. Okay, that's me blinking. But if I keep applying that pressure, in the next minute I come back, that's the next week, let's say, I pop 15K. So it's like, in those days, I just have to remind myself, Ron always taught me, never get too high in the highs, never get too low in the lows. You want to find a way to be constant. And that sung to me because I was like, oh, I want to be emotionally constant as a man. Like, yes, I get pissed. Yes, I get frustrated. Like, we get it. Yes, I get
Yeah.
down. I get upset. But it's such a quicker bounce back now. And that's, I feel like, when I go through those days, again, I go upstairs and, dude, I put it away at night and I play with my kids. I get back to smiling. I get back to being grateful. And then I recognize, you know what? Sometimes if I go through a sales lull, it's usually just my attitude. I had this last week. The past couple of weeks, I was in like, like 6K. Now I get it. For some, that might be a lot, but for producers like us, you're like, damn, dude, I should be hitting this milestone every week, right? I realize it's just my attitude. I was caught up in the mundane, right? I'm making this amount per week, every single week. I'm making this amount per month. It feels easy. I'm grateful. I'm happy, but like, it feels like Groundhog Day just a little bit with the work, right? So I have to constantly check myself to get back in the mode of being like, hey, this is the time the person's going to talk to you for the first time. This is your first impression. This is a human you're taking care of. Pour into them. Fix your tone. Be there to serve them. And voila, you come back and I'm at, just under 13K for the week, in 3.5 days of work. So it's on those days you just have to remember, I'm in love with the process, not the result. The result's the cherry on top, but the process is everything. And if you're dedicated to the process, the days in between are just, they're just character building.